to the cloud. Awesome. Okay, well, welcome to U Crew training, everybody. It is good to see you on here. Like high fives for showing up for your business, for getting plugged in, and coming to get all the things. Quick intro. If you'll, I gotta mute everybody. Sorry. Y'all have to just play along with me in the chat. Sound good? Okay. So my name is Shanna Kurtz. I'm a Ruby with the company. I have been with us for Viseo for over 3 years and network marketing for about 4. So I started, my really quick story is I started in the business not wanting to be in the business of network marketing like so many of us. I fell in love with the product. I shared with some people. I realized it got me a paycheck. I had a business brain. At the time, I had a floor and remodel company. By all intents and purposes, people say it was successful. You define your own success. And if you're working paycheck to paycheck and have the stress of employing 20 people and riding the market and all of those things, and it doesn't mean success for you, then it's not successful and you should go look for something else. So nobody told me that. I wish somebody had, but luckily network marketing found me, and I paid attention to what was possible in this industry. I started reading books. I started reading about what people who were successful were doing, and I went out and copied as much of it as I possibly could. Fast forward, I'm a 6-figure earner here working from my little bitty town in South Texas with too many chickens, too many dogs, and building my own life exactly how I want. And I highly advise all of you to build a life exactly how you want. There's not a whole lot better than this. So with that, that's my quick story. I want to give you a disclaimer on the training I'm about to give you. Okay, this is my first time really training this in a bigger format, and it's original content. Okay, so most of what happens in network marketing is handed down as it should be, because if it works, you're going to pass it along, right? If something works for you, you're going to pass it to somebody. Okay, so let me just say this is something that's my own conversations that has flushed out of it needed to be trained on. And I'm a 6-figure earner, not a 7-figure earner. So if there is something in here that does not match what the mentor or leader that you say that you're working with says, you need to throw it out. Okay, everybody agree? You hear me? If this isn't for you, it's not for you, and that's okay. For some people, this is going to be for. Okay, sound good? Everybody got it? Okay. This is your business. You get to say, oh, I'm not going to do what that Shanna girl said. I mean, within reason, you know? Okay, so the backstory on this training and the conversations that it comes from is, have you ever have a brand partner who said they were going to do something and they don't do it, a new brand partner? Or have you had them say, they say they're going to do stuff, but you don't really know how to help them? Like, you can't figure out where the break in understanding is. You can't figure out why you're over here and they're over there. Anybody picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah. What about, have you ever been in a situation where you don't see duplication, even though you feel like you're doing all the right things? Okay. Yeah. Are you sometimes frustrated with the timetable of your prospect, your customer, or your brand partner? It's okay to admit it, guys, that they don't, that like, it's okay that like we want people to do stuff at a time frame that doesn't match them, right? Like, it's okay to admit that. Okay. And there's probably many others. Maybe you have a goal of just wanting to honor, the goal that we have is to honor where people are at in the trajectory of their experience of Viseo. That's what we're talking about tonight, the roadmap of where people are and how you can meet them there. And if you can identify where they are or where the breakage is, then you can keep them moving down this road. Would you like to know how to do that? Yeah? Cool. Okay, so let's start with sharing my screen. Let me find this for you. Give me 1 second, because of course I had it pulled up and now it's not there. Okay. Okay, here's our roadmap. Let me hit the present button. Can y'all see that full screen now? I see. Lorraine, I see. Thanks for the head nods, because Lorraine, you're the person that's right in front of me. I'm like, keep me in the loop, girl. Keep me in the loop. Okay, here is our roadmap that we're going to talk about tonight. I want to start with the first slide we're going to go through is, if I figure out how to do this, what are you doing this for? Drop in the chat. What are you doing this for? I want to see it. What are you doing this for? Why are you building Viseo? Why are you sharing? What is your goal? Is it money? Is it impact? Is it a free Mexico trip? Is it funding an Africa trip? Financial and time freedom, financial freedom. Is it, when you say financial freedom, is it credit card debt? Is it retirement? Is it education? Is it choice? Like, come on, to better myself. Lorraine says additional income, freedom in all ways, impact, retirement. Awesome. Okay, so you know where you're going. I want to know, what do you think you need to get there? What do you think needs to happen in order for you to get there? Get out of my own mind and way. Yeah. Okay. Patience. Good stuff. But like really, like, so when I think, what are we, what do we need to get there? I think I need more people on auto ship. I need more brand partners. Who on here would love, is like, to me, brand partners is the language, right? Like brand partners, is the thing. I need to help other people achieve their goal, consistently, self-love, successful model default, teamwork, all good stuff. So is it auto ships? Is it customers? Is it brand partners? Is it leads? Do we all need all of those things? Yeah. Okay, so let me tell you what normally happens. This is what most people think they're wanting, right? They want brand partners. Like if you're brand new, don't you want your 2 brand partners so you go star? Or maybe you want the 22 brand partners so you earn the trip to Mexico, right? Brand partners. Candace, you're on to something, girl. You're on to something. I see it. Jumping ahead. People want the brand partners to get to bronze. You want the duplication that comes with brand partners. More brand partners gets you to gold. So the brand partner thing is part of the story. Obviously, I'm alluding to that. We want people to go from prospect to brand partner. You really want people to go from prospect to leaders. This is what you're really doing. This is the thing. Want more leaders? Yes. People who are better than me? Yes. You want leaders. And the first thing that you have to know about leaders, the things that you have to know first off is that regardless of your goal, right? Like whatever you said earlier, whether it's, something big, something small, whatever timeline you think it's on, you've got to, in order for this to make it happen, you need to first recognize that you're a leader, right? Okay. You're a leader. Like you were born to lead. You're designed to lead. I'm not going to go into a full leadership training because that's still a journey. I'm still on that journey. And I think we're all on that journey. If you think for a second that you're not a leader, are you going to attract leaders? No. So first and foremost, you have to realize that you are born a leader. So everybody, before I go to the next slide, get in that chat and say, I am a leader. Say it and look in the mirror. Say, I am a leader. I am a leader. I am a leader. Who are lead? I'm a leader. Deborah's a leader. Come on, I'm not going till I see this fly. Give me all the leaders. I'm a leader. Yes. I'm totally teaching off notes tonight. Okay. I have another slide. This is a little detour. Why do we want leaders, right? This is what I want you to see what we do here. This is the Eric Worre. This is not Shanna original. But what do we do? Number 1, we sell products using word of mouth advertising. Number 2, we recruit and build teams of other people doing the same. I want you to notice those 2 things are still transactional. They still rely on you to get a paycheck. Anybody read Beach Money? Want mailbox money? Okay. Then you're going to have to move out of these 2. Everybody starts here, so you don't get to skip that. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what your education is. I don't care how successful you've been in other things. You don't get to skip this part. Everybody starts here, okay? But then you want to move into the leveraged part. This is where we duplicate the process, where other people are also selling products using word of mouth advertising, and other people are recruiting and building teams of people doing the same thing. And then we want to move to number 4. What does this say? We improve productivity of our teams using our leadership. This is where we're headed. So understanding this, does this kind of help you paint a better picture of why we have to talk about being leaders and why we have to recognize that that's the trajectory? And so I always say everybody wants to go from prospect to brand partner or prospect to leader. And you have to understand that before somebody is a leader, let me move to this next one. Everybody wants leaders. Before somebody's a leader, what would they be? Before somebody's a leader, what would they be? I'm gonna tell you, they are a plugged in brand partner. That's it. A plugged in. I don't know about y'all, but I've never seen somebody earn a trip to Utah or Mexico or Diamond who wasn't also on trainings. And the reason I say this, how many of you have sponsored people, yet you didn't make sure they knew how important the trainings were? You didn't make sure they knew how important it was. You thought, oh, I know you're really busy. I totally know that. When you're ready, Viseo's going to be here for you. Oh, yeah, I see the faces. I'm not the only one who did that. Y'all did that too? Yeah, you stole the business from them because it's not true. It's not true. They can't not plug in and find great success here. They can't. The truth is they have to be plugged in. A plugged in is the key word. They're on trainings, if your team's doing huddles, in-person meetings, book clubs, whatever you're doing, they need to be plugged in some form or fashion. Right? If they work full-time, that's not an excuse. I started full-time. How many of you started full-time and did this on the side? You have to be on your training calls. You have to be in your chat groups. They've got to be plugged in. So if you, now that you know, are there some people, and we'll kind of circle back to the homework, is there some people you know right now, the area that they're dropped right now is right here? Like, you know, the gap that gets them to leaders is not going to get filled if they don't get plugged in, right? Okay, I've never seen anyone go blah, 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 checking my notes. Plugged in isn't just about getting better skills or knowing what the promos are. Being plugged in is where your brand partner is going to grow what? Their belief. Their belief. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Belief is the thing that people have to build up in the beginning. They have to build up their belief in the products, right? How do we do that? We want to encourage them to take their products every day. We want to have them get on any Viseo product calls. We want to get people in a testimony group. We want to make sure they're surrounded by other product stories. They're at meetings where product stories are being shared. They're on trainings where people are sharing stuff. Whatever it is, if you want to encourage people to build belief in the products. Okay, you need people to build their belief in the company. If they don't believe in Viseo, are they gonna go tell all their friends? No, right? So how do we do that? We get them in front of presentations. We get them to events. You're gonna see events. You're gonna get them to big events like corporate events. You're gonna get them to little events like in somebody's living room. Comp plan. If they don't understand how they're gonna make money, does that hold some people back? Not reds. I'm not talking to you reds. I'm talking to you greens. You greens need to figure out that comp plan. I understand that. So make sure they have access to the things that are going to build their belief. Best thing, get them on company calls where they hear people winning. Get them plugged in where they're hearing other stories of people like them finding success. Okay? They need to have belief in the team trainings, in the system, in the network, in the community, in the culture. How do you do that? They've got to experience it. You can't tell them about all that. They got to be plugged in. The system that we use, they've got to be plugged into that. They've got to be launched properly. They have to get on connect calls. They have to use third-party tools. How do they build faith in a system? Because I'll tell you, as somebody who didn't understand systems, because I thought, man, I have a $1 million business. I have a cancer testimony, all this like network marketing stuff they're saying. They haven't seen me though. Let me go do my thing because I can do it, and I'm gonna like build this bigger than anybody. And my business stopped in its tracks because I wasn't using the system. I was doing all the talking. Okay? Don't fall for that. Luckily, I had a Ricky call me and say, stop doing what you're doing and just put me on the phone with people, girl. And then I went and made $4,200 in a week because I listened to him and I just put people in front of him. So the system, how are they going to learn to trust the system? They're going to be plugged in. They're going to hear other people winning with the system. They're going to use the system. And then yourself. How do you build belief in yourself? Self-development, book clubs, trainings, all of these kind of things. You have to be on a self-development trajectory. Like, this is not optional. What are you reading right now? What are you listening to? I bet most of you have scheduled, and when I say y'all, I want to hold on and say this. Y'all are the elite. Okay? You are here on a Tuesday night at 8:30 in a team of thousands. Y'all are the ones that are here. And so this should not feel like condemnation this should be like, I am built for this. This is equipping me. Like, this should empower you. I hope that, like, please feel my heart on this, because I want you to know you are doing the things. This is not so much about you're not doing it. It's going to help you see where other people are that aren't doing the things, and how you can serve your team and your customers and all that better. Okay. So you've got to build belief in them, in yourself, and being plugged in. So that was my little detour on understanding why I say you have to be plugged in to build belief. Okay, next slide. I want to back up on one thing on belief. One big mistake, and I'm going to just keep going back that way. One big thing on this is a mistake that happens is that you make sure that you're at all the things. You make sure you buy your ticket to virtual convention. You make sure you're on crew, but you let your other people who aren't as committed as you, how many people did you message tonight and say, I didn't message all my personally sponsored and say, hey, are you getting on tonight? I should have, right? So make sure you're being vigilant, not just about the things that you're showing up to, but am I making sure I'm communicating to other people how important it is that I think it is for them to be there and show up. So don't mistake the importance of getting your team members as plugged in. Don't just worry about yourself, okay? Okay, and part of that is promoting. So this is I've got some little detours on this road trip, right? Promotion is one of the highest paid skills in network marketing. And when I say promotion, I think or most people think, oh, promoting our products, promoting our line, promoting our opportunity. And yes, that is part of it. But once somebody is on your team, promotion looks different. Promotion is promoting their own goals and dreams back at them. Hey, Lorraine, you said you wanted full financial freedom. You said that in the next 2 years, like, you want a completely different life. So all I'm saying is, if that's true, then girl, you gotta hit the accelerator. And the only way I know to do that is for you got to be on every training. You got to be on these calls. You got to be working with your leader, right? And so 100% promote any in-person events, promote any calls, get yourself there, promote it to your team, promote any trips, promote events, promote have you made sure people know what the promotions are from corporate right now? That if they order the birthday pack, they get entered in those 5 luxury product packs. Oh no, where'd my internet go? Okay, there you go. Promote self-development, promote everything. Promote everything. That becomes your job as being a full-time promoter. Okay, next slide. So before somebody is, hold on, moving my chat box. Before somebody is a plugged in brand partner, what are they? They're a properly launched brand partner. What do I mean by properly launched? Properly launched means they did one or a combination of these 3 things. They had a launch Zoom where they invited their friends and family to get educated. Okay? This is important because if people go and just talk and do the things, they skip the finesse and they go straight to asking people to buy or join. I don't ask people to buy or join. I ask people to get educated, make their own decisions. Okay? A new person doesn't have that nuance yet, right? They're going to be like, here's my link. And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. What did you like introduce to them before you sent them a link, right? That's asking them to buy. Ask them to get educated so they can make their own decision. Okay, so it had a launch Zoom, number 2, or an in-person event, or a series of events. I'll go into that in a second, to invite their guests to a third-party resource to get educated. Number 3, scheduled VIP or connect calls. So those are the 3 ways that you properly launch your business, okay? Now, my greens want to know how many of these things and which ones should they do and what's the best way to do it. Let me tell you, it depends on the size of somebody's goals. If somebody has really big, fast goals, you should really probably be doing 3 in person, 3 Zooms. Like, think about it like this. You want to do these back to back and create momentum and community until somebody that's a guest in the room becomes a brand partner, and now they're opening up their home, they're inviting their people, now you're inviting, they're inviting, other guests are inviting, now you're creating kind of, that's how you create momentum, is doing those back to back in a combination of those Zooms and calls. Look, if you don't have big goals, you're just trying to get your products for free, then you still need to do at least a Zoom, or if you're not local to your leaders, do a Zoom. If you're in person, get your people in your living room and have your leaders Zoom in. That's another great little hybrid if you don't live close to somebody. If they have medium goals, obviously at least 1 Zoom, 1 in person, and then do the calls. You got to do some combination of a proper launch. Properly launched is not them going and signing up a bunch of people that never saw Zoom or an in-person or a video. So hear me. Can somebody reach star and have success and not do it in a duplicatable way? Yes, that's not properly launched. So if you have somebody that did that, like, you get to go and be like, oh my gosh, I know why they're not duplicating. Let me circle back right now. Oh my gosh, you had so much success out of the gate. I'm so proud of you. Like, you hit the ground running. Oh, that's so awesome. Guess what? We're going to set you up for even more success. Let's make your list. Let's invite to an in-person or a Zoom, and let's get even more people educated about what you're doing. So you can recapture this. This is like I said, this is not a, oh my gosh, I took a wrong turn. It's, oh my gosh, I know exactly what I need to do to recapture this. Do not mistake growth for duplication. These are not the same things. A new brand partner who is not properly launched can still hit star 800, get customers, but you likely won't see duplication, and they won't reach that phase of leverage, right? And that means people get burnt out. If you stay in those first phases for a long time, it's really hard to not get burnt out. We want to get them to the place where they're leveraged and they're making beach money, okay? And let's be honest, ask yourself, is this me? Is Shanna describing me? Am I doing all the things myself? Am I doing it all? Am I doing what she's saying, where I'm not using a third-party resource? This is leaders, y'all, we fall for this just as much as everybody else. And until we can see, oh wait, how can I do this in a more duplicatable way? Do I have the duplication I want to see? So some of this, you're gonna check yourself on where you're at in this list too, and regroup and have a launch plan. Next slide. Before somebody is a properly launched brand partner, they're just a brand partner. And so I think what happens is a lot of time we get our brand partner and we don't know what their next steps are. So I hope that this gives you more of a clear trajectory of like, okay, next thing is launching them. Okay, they're launched. Now I need to get them plugged in. Okay, if they're plugged in, eventually I'm going to have a leader. Awesome. Okay, so let's hang out here. Who signed up a brand partner? Think of your last couple of recruits. Did you get them signed up as a brand partner and move on through the next phases? Or are you waiting for them to do something before you kind of move into this phase? Just go ahead and move into these phases. Are they properly launched? Have you sent them reminder texts before trainings or corporate calls? Are they self-developing? Do you know what they're listening to or reading? You should. As their sponsor, you should. You 100% should. Hey, this is a great first book. Hey, this is a great first podcast. Okay, so before somebody is a brand partner, they are a customer with a story. Now, I know that some people get started as a brand partner and they've not even tried a product yet. Okay? My personal opinion is they still need a story. They still need a product story. Not to launch their business. They can launch without a customer story. But something that still hold on, let me see my notes so I make sure I say this right. If they start there, if some people start as a brand partner, if they start there, you need to work backwards and make sure they take the products and they get a story of their own as well. This is partly what builds their belief and squashes any fears or doubts about getting started in the business, right? So they get started in the business because they're so excited and they trust you. And then maybe doubt starts creeping in and excitement goes low, but then they start taking the products and they're like, oh my gosh, I feel better than it's like it reaffirms all the things why they said yes to this. The story is really, really powerful. But for this slide set, let's just say they're a customer with a story, right? Versus someone who's taking the products but doesn't have a story. Without their story, do you have their confidence? Do you have their excitement? So this sometimes shows up. I'm going to use an example. I was on a training call earlier and somebody said, hey, well, she followed up with her person who's a customer without a story yet and asked the person, are you Are you ready to think about being a brand partner? And if she doesn't have a story, she's probably not thinking about being a brand partner as a customer, right? Now, I also know not everybody gets customers in our business. I really like customers. I like the path of letting people start as a customer, get really excited about the results, naturally share. This progression, really, I love it. And so I'm sharing what's working for me. But there's a lot of people who've built really big businesses without enrolling customers, and that's okay. Start them as a brand partner, but you still want to help them go back and get that story and the belief in the products, because somebody who's on auto ship because they're doing it for a paycheck is entirely different from somebody who's on auto ship who never wants to run out of that product again. Amen? That's a different quality of auto ship. You want that kind of auto ship. Okay, so if you have a brand new brand partner, not only do they need to be properly launched, but you also need to make sure they're taking their products and working toward their success story. The exception, the story could be a money story, right? So I prefer to build a team around those who love the products, because an auto ship for people, I already covered that. Okay, before a customer with a story, oops, I'm acing this slideshow. Before you have a customer with a story, you just have a customer. It's just a customer. But I wanted you to see what the potential of a customer is. How many of you get disappointed when somebody chooses to be a customer instead of a brand partner? How many of you get disappointed? You're like, oh man, I wish they'd be a brand partner. Brand partner gets me to Mexico. Customer don't get me to Mexico, right? I don't. I'm super excited because I know this roadmap like the back of my hand, and I know the power of a customer with a story. And so when somebody starts as a customer, I don't try to hurry them. I don't try to hurry them to a brand partner. I meet them where they're at, and I try to get them their own win. Their goal is a good night's sleep. It's weight loss. It's energy. It's pain-free. Stay with them there. Stay with them there until they have that win. And then it's so much easier to move them. I'll tell you what, there's something about a customer who has a story, who then becomes a brand partner. Have you ever had a brand partner get started big? Maybe they come on a foundation pack, and then like 2 weeks in, they're not talking to anybody. They're scared out of their mind. Okay? That don't happen with a customer with a story. Never happens. They don't ever regret their decision as becoming a brand partner. They just don't. So let me reverse one more. Before they are a customer, what are they? They are a prospect. And this is the potential you have with every person that you talk to. This is the path that they go to. There's probably a few more details that I could nerd out on a little bit more, but a couple things to consider. If you have a better understanding of this process and the road that they travel, it should give you better peace. It should give you more patience, and it should allow you to meet every person where they are. And at the same time, know what you need to do next. My next screen is your homework. I want you to take the last, if you have it in row 5, then obviously however many you had. I want you to, sorry, something's unmuted and I don't know what it is.
Go in there and get dressed, come on.
Okay. I want you to make a list of your last 5 brand partners. What is their next step? So this has come out in conversations where people, once you identify where they're at, I want to see, like, tell me, is this helping? Give me some feedback. What is their next step? If you can identify that, what are those 5 people? Let's regroup. Get your 5 last brand partners. Where did they leave off on this journey? Where can you reverse and get them back on track? Same thing for your customers. 5 customers. Where did you last leave off? Did you hurry them to brand partner too quickly? Because that may have conveyed that you're more concerned about you than you are about them and their own health wins. Circle back. Meet them back where they are. Meet them where they are. Okay? Your goal is brand partners and leaders. Their goal is whatever their health goal is. Meet them there. And then also for your prospects, same thing. Moving my chat box. Did you try to move them from prospect to brand partner too quickly? Circle back. See if you can't regroup it, if you can't meet them where they're at on this journey. So that is it. I'm going to totally open up for questions on any of this or comments. This is a fun training. I can't, how often I'm like, oh gosh, just think about it. Hold on. Before they're a brand partner, what are they? Right? Before they're a plugged in brand partner, what are they? Just back it up. It's the same way we reverse engineer our goals, right? Like if you want 10 brand partners, you probably have to reach out to 100 people. You know the numbers. It's kind of the same thing. If we know the trajectory we are on, then we can just back it up and do what we need to do to serve our people. I love that you had an aha moment, Teresa. Any questions, y'all? I love questions. There's no dumb questions. This is the first time, only probably a few of my team members have ever heard me really go into depth on this. So ask some questions.
Yeah, this is Rick. Can you hear me?
Hey, Rick. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so in my approach, I'm often approaching everybody as modeled by Ricky, that it's better to be a brand partner from the business perspective, the tax perspective. I talked a lot of veterans, so now veterans are getting their healthcare kind of semi quasi paid for by the government.
That's awesome. And he's 100% right. 100% right. But if I make a social media post about collagen and somebody wants to order collagen, I can't always get them to jump the gap from they want collagen to they need a business write-off.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I struggle with that too. Yeah.
yeah, and so the ones that you can't, like, I saw the business from the get-go. I mean, raise your hand or hop in the chat. How many of you saw the business from the get-go?
Amen.
Okay. Well, then, so we probably don't understand why people don't see what we see from day one. And so what I just showed you is even more important. We're all different. We're all in a different place. And so for the ones who see what you see, those are the easy ones, right? Like, you know what to do with those. That's your story. Awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Ricky. But yeah, 100%. Hold on. I'm scrolling through. It looks like there were a couple questions. Yeah, so a lot of us saw big. And let me tell you, if you came in big, it's more likely that you're going to show up on these trainings and plugged in. It's hard to get somebody who, $200 isn't a whole lot of money to, and they started a business on $200 to plug in. Right? So I'm not saying, I still think seeing the business, getting started as a brand partner, I wish everybody would start as a brand partner, only because then you have the leverage. Like, I know our products work. So if somebody's ordering on auto ship for 3 months, 6 months, and their points are accumulating and people are getting placed underneath them, gosh, it's so much easy for me to reach out to that person and say, hey, did you see how many points are underneath you? And like, that's awesome. And that's different. That's not really, that's the dream. That's the ideal. This is dealing with all the ones who don't fit into that ideal. Would you speak to how to help launch a brand partner who doesn't have a product story yet? Okay, so it really comes to, now Rachel, I know like the intricacies of the system that y'all, on Amy's team that y'all do. And so on that intro call where Amy or whoever has met with this specific brand partner, what was, like, we always ask, what's your Viseo story? What got you started? And that right there is all you need to launch the business. If they say, gosh, you know what? I watched Rachel just have so much energy and, completely just, I trust her so much and I'm just watching her life change before my very eyes. I want that too. She can say that on her launch Zoom, right? Like, who doesn't have a friend that they trusted and jumped in on something? There's nothing wrong with that story, right? I do think long term, the product story is great for her, for that person, but you don't have to have that to launch. Does that answer your question, Rachel?
Yeah, for the most part, I have 3 BPs right now that are saying I don't want to launch until I see how the products work for me. And
then I let them.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. I mean, like, you know what I see when I see that? And this is, if you didn't work like this, please, this is not me saying you don't have this thing, but I just honor that and say, oh my gosh, yeah, that's how I was. Like, it shows they have a ton of integrity and they want to have belief in what they're doing. And so do we all wish that people didn't need that and they moved forward? And is there like some people that you could say, hey, look, you don't need that to move forward. And some people you can get them to move. And this is for people that you can't. Right? So then you're just going to meet them where they're at.
Okay. Thank you. That helps a lot.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, you just want to do the, hey, what are you, the circle back to as if they were a customer. Hey, what are you noticing on the products? What benefits have you noticed any benefits yet? That's my favorite thing. Hey, how's it going? Have you noticed any benefits yet? And if they say, no, not really, then I get to have a conversation. Okay, so what are you like, tell me, are you taking it at night? How many, like, then I start talking dosage, and it sometimes will flush out they've been inconsistent. And I can't do nothing about that. I can encourage them. I can ask them if they need reminders, if that would help. But that's a different, but sometimes they'll say, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm already noticing. Oh my gosh, that's so great. Okay, cool. If you catch yourself sharing, let's kind of regroup and get ready. I'll tell you what your next steps are, right? So that's your next steps aren't, hey, are you ready to launch? You back it up and say, hey, what benefits are you noticing? Because if they can share that conversation with you naturally, oh my gosh, I'm getting such a good night's sleep. I mean, that's all I'm noticing, a little bit of energy and better sleep, but gosh, it's making the world a difference. Then you can say, oh my gosh, like that's huge. Like, I cannot wait for you to share your story. Like, think about how many people in your world just want a good night's sleep and more energy. This is going to be so much fun. Boom. Now you can move into the conversation of them, because now they've shared your story and you've been like, oh, that's all you have to do to launch is share that story and you already have it. Way to go. Right.
Yeah.
But awesome. So that just shows you back it up, and that's a perfect example of the roadmap, right? Because you're thinking her next step is launch, and we're like, no, let's back it up. What's her story?
Okay.
If she wants a story, then let's let her, help her get a story.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is the shortest U-Crew training I think I've ever done. Yeah, I like it. Lauren Richard said, proactive with the ones ready to launch and reactive to the ones just starting the product. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Lindy said she did the same thing. Lindy Turner said it took her over a month to share. Lindy's in healthcare. So thank you for sharing that, Lindy. Lindy's in healthcare. It's more on the line. And I'll be really transparent with y'all. I didn't share Viseo locally right out of the gate because I had been with a company that I found out I was a leader in the room saying things that weren't true. And so I've legit had people message me and say, I don't know if I can trust you in this company because of what happened with the other company. Right? So for somebody like in healthcare, or, y'all got to remember, my town did a fundraiser for my surgeon. So I have people that are really invested in what I say about natural health. Does that make sense? So you're going to have people that don't have, like, it's just different. Lindy Turner, people turn to her and ask her for advice. She had to do her due diligence before she could confidently share. Does that make sense? So some people, it's like let Lindy be Lindy, let people be who they want to be. When circling back to those last 5 you talked about on the last slide, what if it's been a while since you talked to them? How would you approach? So I would first spend a lot of time figuring out where you like do more of your due diligence. Like, okay, like regroup. Person number 1, what did they say they did this for? What was their first thing? Chasing dead bodies is not my favorite. Let's just all be honest. So if you're having to go back and try to resurrect people, get your mind right. Like, no, it's not fun. No, it's going to take a lot of your energy. And if you're brand new, this is what I'm talking about. Do you have people in your life who say they're going to go to the gym and then they never go to the gym? Do you have people in your life who say they're going to do things and then they don't do them, and they've got a lifetime of doing that? Guess what? Some of those people are going to join your team and they're going to tell you they're going to do big things, and then they don't. And you still feel like you owe them something because you're the one that shared this with them. Even though they've quit on everything else in their life, you're going to feel like it's on you. Short story, it's not on you. Like, they quit things because they quit themselves, right? You can do the best you can, but every once in a while, you're going to have a bleeding heart, and you're going to go back to these people that said they wanted to do something, and you're going to go back and say, hey, is there any way I can help you do this now? Is now a better time? And they may be full of excuses, right? Because that's where they're at, but you're going to try. And so that's maybe what that's what I'm referring to when Candace says circling back to people that you haven't talked to in a while. If they're brand partners, just get your mind right for that process. Get your heart right for it. Just do the work and then move on. If it's people that are prospects, yeah, I think just going back, identifying exactly what their interest was, go back and meet them there. You can always salvage a conversation if you circle back to what their interest is, or what you think their interest is, or ask them what their interest is, right? That's the way to do that. Cool. Shanna Ashley has a question. Okay. I'm struggling with people actually liking the product, which blows my mind. So how to get customers to keep trying products? Are your customers, Ashley, if you'll answer this, are you making sure that your customers are getting educated on the liposomal delivery and stuff about the company? Like if somebody just uses your link to shop VBurn, but doesn't have an education about Viseo, you're less likely to get a return customer. There is something about people understanding when I was a cancer patient and like people always mailed me stuff to try, if I didn't know the story behind that stuff went in the garbage. Like if I don't have belief and understanding about what this is going to do for me, I wasn't going to take it. So people on a customer, you've got to pre-qualify people. So there is a trajectory of your customer. Are they, I have this written down somewhere. Do they, like you're product aware. So if you're talking collagen or CBD, that's like people, you're trying to brand yourself as I'm branding myself with this product. So people look at Shanna and they think CBD, liposomal, whatever. That's product aware. Before somebody is product aware, they are solution aware. Like they understand, oh, CBD helps with anxiety. Before they're solution aware, they're only problem aware, right? Like I'm not sleeping well, but they may not understand that melatonin and GABA and things like that are solutions. Does that make sense? So you may be dealing with people who are not product aware, who are not even solution aware. They're just like, does that make sense? They're not, they're like, I have a problem, but I don't know what the solution is. And so like, make sure you're pre-qualifying people that you're talking to. Another way that I can explain this is, are you talking to somebody who's already on a health journey? Like, is natural health new to them? Is this the first natural health product they've taken? Things like that. When people are new on a journey, it's different. Like they just, like, remember your first natural product that you ever took? Like they just don't have all the belief and buy-in yet. They may be comparing it to pharmaceuticals, not the same thing. I think it's better, but I hope that's kind of answering your question. I love the science, tell him. Okay, you said I love the science and tell them. You shouldn't be telling them the science. They should be on a Zoom. They should be on make sure you're doing something that a third party tool is telling them the things and that it's not coming from you. I'm really big on that. But if it's like one product doesn't work, how do I get them to try other products? You focus on their goal, like what is their issue, and make sure you're using a third party. So you don't want to get in the position, Jamie, I would totally put you on the spot and bring you in here. You don't want to get yourself in a position where you're like, oh, I know what you need, it's this product. Oh, I know what you need, it's this product. Oh, I know what you need, it's this product. You really do want to use a third party resource that plugs them into what is in the line. What do we have? So if somebody messages me and says, I'd like, hey, I want to know more about your energy drink. I'd be like, awesome. Hey, I'm going to drop you a video. Will you check this out? I'm going to put some samples. I'll send you a couple samples of that, but I want you to send this video so you see all the things and make sure there's not something else you want me to throw in that box for you. I'd trick them into watching the whole video like that, because then I know they've got a full education of liposomes. They've got a full education of the product line. Like that's one way to get them to do that. But notice I didn't tell them, hey, I know what you need. It's Vtox and it's this and it's that. That to me always backfires. Get a third party on the line. If you're on social media, get a third party in a group chat. Yeah, I love it. Lindy says sometimes they have to hear it from somebody else. And inconsistency is a big thing. Just, hey, how are you taking it? Are you taking it every day? If it comes to VBurn, make sure they know they need to be drinking lots of water. Add them to a testimony group. Tag them at where that's covered. I hope that answers all of that. Yeah, let your leader provide value. Amen. Y'all, amen. Let somebody else provide the value. Otherwise, you're going to end up with customers and you're not going to move anything down that track. Because if somebody watches you do all the things, say all the things, and be all the things, they may say, oh, I like this collagen, but I ain't never doing what she's doing. I ain't got time for that. Yeah, so that's why you have to be like, oh yeah, I have a pretty good idea, but let me put you in a chat group with my friend Lindy. She's an expert on the products, retired nurse. She's going to totally help you get started. Boom, let somebody else do that in front of you. That's third-party resource. That's properly launched. So when we go back to this trajectory, is the person, and if we're talking about you, are you using third-party resources? If you are not, you're not properly launched. Awesome. Okay. Then let's go ahead and shut this down. I think that's it on questions. I appreciate all of you. I just pray ignorant and put them on a three-way group chat. That's your diamond, Lauren Richards, saying I just played dumb and put them in a group chat. Awesome. Okay, y'all have such a good night. Love seeing all of your faces. Go out and do great things. Enjoy your summer. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Shauna. You are awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank y'all for letting me try a new slide set and fun new conversation with y'all.
Thanks, Shanna. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Bye.